Hello and welcome to Prudent IAS, one-stop solution for all the competitive exams. Today we are back again with another interesting topic. Our topic will be from General Studies, Paper 2, Polity. Like our previous videos, our approach will be the same. We'll choose one topic, do some discussion over the topic, over the content, give you some insights, and then phrase a sample model question as well as a sample model answer. If you have not joined our Telegram group Answer Writing by Prudent IAS, do join it today because there we send all these questions a day prior. How it helps you? There you can send your handwritten answers, you can do some peer-to-peer interaction, as well as you will have access to others' answers as well. We will be picking up one answer daily for free evaluation. Well, without wasting time, let's start the video. Today the topic is distinction between Indian and British parliamentary systems. So you all must be aware that our Indian parliamentary system draws inspiration from the British parliamentary system. But it just draws the inspiration. There are a lot of differences which have been adapted according to our historical context, our constitutional requirements. What are all these differences? We'll be studying all those today. So these differences, how will we be studying these differences along different parameters? What are these parameters like head of the state, parliamentary sovereignty, ministerial appointments, constitutional framework, etc. Let's start. Our first parameter for today is republican versus monarchical system. Now in Indian system, our head of the state, that is, who is the head of the state? President. The president is elected through an electoral process. Our president is elected. He is not an hereditary president. So, and this electoral process involves both the center as well as the state legislature. While in the British system, the head of the state is the king or the queen, and they hold a hereditary position which is passed down through royal succession. There is no such election for the head of the state. This is a major difference which makes us a republic. But there are certain similarities also. In both the systems, the head of the state performs the constitutional ceremonial functions. That means just the rubber stamp one. The real power lies with the Prime Minister in both British as well as Indian systems. So this is the content, the main key point. What analysis is driven out of this is the fundamental difference reflects that how India has adapted according to its post-colonial identity and democratic values. We have adopted the parliamentary framework, but we have rejected the monarchical element. And therefore, we have established ourselves as already mentioned in the preamble, sovereign democratic republic. Whereas in Britain, the power of the head of the state is passed down through the royal succession. Here, the source of the power is the people rather than the hereditary privilege. The next parameter, parliamentary sovereignty and the constitutional limitations. So the British Parliament has supreme legal authority, that is Sarve Sarva. They have unlimited powers. While in Indian Parliament, do we have unlimited powers? No. Why? Because our powers, the parliamentary powers, are restricted, limited by a written constitution. As well as we have a federal structure, that is, some powers are with the center and some with the state. There is a clear-cut division of subjects, and Parliament cannot make laws on certain subjects which are exclusive for the state except under the special circumstances. Another regarding the judicial review. In Britain, the courts cannot invalidate the parliamentary acts or laws. If Parliament has passed certain act, then the Supreme Court or the judiciary does not have the power to struck it down. While in India, we have judicial review. which is courts can strike down all the unconstitutional laws. So the analysis is the British system operates on the doctrine of parliamentary supremacy. The parliament is supreme, but in India, we follow constitutional supremacy. Our constitution is supreme. This is the basic difference. India's parliament cannot alter the basic structure of the constitution, but in Britain, the parliament can mere theoretically, it can amend any part of its unwritten constitution. So first, theoretically it can amend any part and the constitution is unwritten. That too with a simple majority, whereas in Indian parliamentary system, we have some laws which can be amended with simple majority, some with special majority, and some even require states' ratification. Next parameter is the ministerial appointments and responsibilities. How is the Prime Minister chosen? In Britain, the Prime Minister must be from lower house. The lower house is known by the name of House of Commons. But in India, the Prime Minister can be from either house of the Parliament. How the ministers are done? In Britain, typically only the MPs, that is the member of the Parliament, can become the ministers. Whereas in India, even the non-MPs can be a minister, but only for up to 6 months. The legal responsibility. In Britain, ministers hold a legal responsibility. They are accountable for all the actions legally. But in India, there is no such concept of legal responsibility. Next, the concept of shadow cabinet. In Britain, usually, the opposition party forms a shadow cabinet. In India, there is no formal shadow cabinet situation. So, these differences show that how India has adapted to its own context, its own needs. In India, there is the flexibility which allows for broader participation in government, but in Britain, the system is a bit more stricter as they follow the parliamentary traditions which are strict and other accountability mechanisms like the legal responsibility. Next parameter is the federal structure and amending powers, another important parameter. So all these parameters will be used as the headings and subheadings while writing the answer. So let's come to the parameter. The first one, the constitutional amendments. As already discussed, India has a complex amending system. Special majority, simple majority, some even require states' ratification. In India, the courts protect the basic structure. Parliament cannot alter the basic structure. That is all about the basic structure doctrine. Federal division. In India, the state and union list limit the parliament. So this is all which we have already discussed. So we are just skipping it, coming to the next slide. You can read it. Next is the topic, contrasting parliamentary system. And now we will be phrasing a sample UPSC question. This will be a 15 marker, 250 words. What I want you to do now is just pause the video. Look at this question. I have already pointed out the directive word which I'll be explaining. Listen to it and then after pausing the video, write a sample answer. Then you can, when I'll be telling the sample model answer in the next slide, you can do some self-evaluation or you can send us your answer in our Telegram group, Answer Writing by Prudent IAS. So let's come to the question. Contrast the parliamentary systems of India and Britain, highlighting the fundamental differences in their constitutional framework, legislative powers, and ministerial responsibilities. Now there are two key points to be noted. First, the directive word, which is contrast. In our directive word lecture, you have seen that the word contrast requires highlighting the differences, not the similarities, highlighting the differences between the two concepts. Here the concepts are Indian and British parliamentary system, and just not merely describe them. That is, you're not writing, okay, in India, Ram Katha, Britain wala, nahi. You will have to present a contrasting picture, highlighting the differences. How you will do that, we'll see in the next slide. You will focus on distinctions, not similarities. So firstly, the directive word is itself saying focus on the differences. Secondly, again, it's clearly mentioning fundamental differences. So you are not required to write any of the similarities which we have studied earlier. What will be the approach for this answer? As I always say, always follow intro, body, conclusion approach. We'll start with an introduction. Then in the body of the answer, there will be certain parameters which are already given, that is constitutional framework, legislative power, ministerial. So constitutional basis, legislative, ministerial, federal character, and then a concluding analysis. The answer must show your in-depth analysis and critical thought as well. Let's start with the model answer. Introduction will be: the parliamentary system of India and Britain share the Westminster model, but they differ significantly in their constitutional framework, legislative power, federal structure, and ministerial responsibilities. Now, see, we have given a brief insight about the topic. These bold words, while writing the handwritten answers, you need to underline these. Underlining these keywords will give a better picture about the introduction. This is a sample introduction. You all can send and rephrase this introduction, send some other introductions also in the comment section below. So keep it brief, crisp and concise. Then coming to the body, we'll be starting by giving a major heading. This heading is the parameter. The parameter is already given in the question. We have kept the language similar. Constitutional framework and parliamentary sovereignty. We'll be comparing on these parameters. Now here I have presented a comparative structure which you will have to draw while writing the answer. So you'll write parameter one side, India and Britain. Now how is this structure better than the bullet one? This also I'll be pointing in the next slide. You'll write the parameter supremacy of parliament. Briefly describe that India has constitutional supremacy. Here, since this is a model answer, I have chosen a bit lengthy description as well. For example, India has, then I have explained it for your understanding, but you can skip this. You can just keep it like India has constitutional supremacy while Britain follows parliamentary supremacy, or you can just describe it in brief. You need to follow to the strict word limit. You can skip certain points, but I have given you a comprehensive model answer here. Next up, judicial review. We have already discussed it earlier, so we are just focusing on the structural part. In front of it, you will write the parliamentary laws can be reviewed, courts cannot overrule in Britain, constitution, written constitutional, here unwritten constitutional. This can be written, this can be skipped, depends on your word limit. Authority of the parliament cannot alter the basic structure in India, while it can make, amend, repeal, modify any part of the constitution. The system of checks and balances in India, judicial and constitutional checks are present to limit the power of the parliament. So we have kept, how concisely we have kept this point. We have mentioned all the key terms, yet the word limit is less. No legal checks on the parliament's power. Next up, I have presented a bullet structure as well. So we'll write another heading, that is legislative powers and federalism. Here in the bullet structure, since we have just one point of comparison, so it's fine. But if you will have multiple points of comparison, then you will have to repeatedly write, okay, parameter for India, again, then for Britain, okay, first, then again the parameter, then India, and then Britain. So again and again you will have to repeat these words. But if you will use such a comparative structure, then the repetition of the headings will be less. They can be avoided. So under legislative powers and federalism, in Britain, a unitary system, parliament can legislate on any subject, already discussed. In India, federal system, so the parliament cannot legislate on the subjects which are exclusive for the state. Under special circumstances like under Article 249, Article 356, they can amend, but else they cannot. Ministerial responsibility, another key parameter which is already also mentioned in the question. The parameter, Prime Minister's role, this we have comprehensively discussed, so that's why I'm telling in brief. In India, the PM is the leader of the Lok Sabha's majority, constitutionally bound to work within its framework, whereas in Britain he is the leader of the House of Commons majority. In ministerial accountability, you will write ministers are collectively responsible, and if you will mention all these articles like Article 249, Article 356, Article 75(3), these points are going to enrich your answer. This will show that okay, you have a proper in-depth knowledge of the constitutional as well as its articles. In Britain, the ministers are collectively responsible to the parliament, but they have an unwritten constitution. Judicial oversight. Judicial oversight can be linked with checks and balances. You can use either of these points. The last one is amending power. Similarly, now what you can do, you can use either just the comparative structure, okay, write down all the parameters here and then compare. If you feel that you have a lot of points and the word limit is less, otherwise if you feel the points are less and you need to fulfill the word limit criteria, then you can use mix of the structure, like comparative structure, and the next parameter can be written in bullets. Even in flowchart, or all the structures are acceptable, but they need to be written clearly. Your handwriting needs to be legible and clear. I'll be telling some insights about the presentation today as well, the presentation of the answer after this point. So under amending power, in India, Constitution prescribes 3 procedures: simple, special, some special with the state stratification, and in Britain, any law, that is, even the constitutional amendment can be passed with a simple majority. Now, the last part of the answer, the most important, the most crucial one, which students also skip a number of times, that is the conclusion. Never ever skip the conclusion. Do not leave your answer open-ended until and unless the answer is of ethics. Then you can skip the introduction and conclusion, because if the question is about write short notes and you have given 5 topics, then you can just write 1, 2, 3, 4 and just describe those topics, right? There you do not have to write about the introduction and conclusion. But here, in all these answers, introduction and conclusion is mandatory. So just conclusion part, we have summed up all the points. While both the systems follow the parliamentary democracy, India's parliamentary democracy system, India's parliamentary system is different on federal, structural and judiciary points. In Britain, it is unitary, flexible and based on parliamentary sovereignty, parliamentary supremacy. The ministerial responsibilities, again, here they are constitutionally defined, as well as in Britain, they rely on political conventions. Now do send me a better conclusion which will summarize all the above points in a better way, in less words, keeping it concise, clear, and send it to us in the comment section or in our group Answer Writing by Prudent IAS. So as promised, I'll be telling you some points about the presentation. If suppose this is your given answer sheet, this is the margin, okay, you have both sides margin for UPSC, let's take for any state exam, I believe. This is the model question, and for answer, you will not write anything beyond this margin, which means that if you are numbering the points using the alphanumeric digits, then you will not write 1, 2, 3 here. No. You will write 1, 2 and 3, all these points in the given space only, not beyond the margins. Also, if you have written this answer, then while writing the conclusion, you must use the space efficiently. Do not write a congested answer towards the end. Often students don't have a real idea of the space, which comes through practice, of course. So what they do, they write all the introduction, the points, giving proper spacing, and while coming to the conclusion, the space is less, so they write congested writing. Avoid congested writing, avoid writing beyond the margins. Even the bullets also cannot be drawn. For example, this is the sheet. Do not draw bullets here. Write in the given space. This is your only space. So that's it. Let's look at the sample answer at once. This is how your model answer is going to look. Of course, you will cut down the word limit according to the need, skip certain points or merge certain points, and you can skip the explanatory part, which was for your understanding. So the model answer, introduction, the body, I have skipped the structural headings, the introduction, body and conclusion. You need not to write those headings, that were for your understanding. So this is all about the sample model answer for today. So that's it for today. We'll be coming up with another video very soon. Till then, join our Telegram group Answer Writing by Prudent IAS. The link of the Telegram group will be given in the description box below. Thanks for watching.